Ciao, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we are doing 3 Mediterranean diet savory breakfast recipes, ideas. These recipes and meal ideas today are not necessarily breakfast only. You can have them as a snack or whenever you want to eat them throughout the day. I just always like to give a title and a theme to these recipe videos. These recipes today are so quick, so easy in my opinion, very low effort, especially when you have some things already prepped and ready to go. These are very transitional recipes for this awkward time of year when it's not quite fall, summer feels like it's over. I try to make them all easily adaptable for your preferences or your dietary needs. So I will give suggestions all throughout the recipe video of any dairy-free options, gluten-free options. So let's talk about the 3 recipes in this video today. The first one is going to be a multi-grain porridge highlighting pistachio duca. I have Googled a million times how to pronounce this word. I really have. It says duca. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. It's an Egyptian spice blend that is spices, nuts, and seeds, and it's really good to top on things or to cook things, and I thought it would be a great way to really spice up, literally, this pistachio multi-grain porridge. Oatmeal is always seen as something so sweet. Having all the different grains in this pistachio porridge with all those cozy warm spices makes it the perfect cozy breakfast meal. All 3 of these recipes that I'm highlighting today are really more just bases that you can make your own. That's what I always suggest, is add in your own spin to everything that I make. My recipes, my meal ideas are always just suggestions. For the second recipe, I am highlighting a very specific thing within this whole meal idea, which is the caramelized shallot pomegranate molasses fig jam. You can use it so many ways, but I'm using it today with some smoked salmon, some goat cheese, some thyme, and a little crunch of some spicy green arugula, kind of making these little breakfast wraps. And for the third and final breakfast recipe, it is going to be a orange blossom tahini pumpkin bread. So this pumpkin bread is middle ground. I wouldn't call it like over the top savory. There is a little bit of sugar in it, but I wouldn't call it sweet by any means. I mean, it's definitely not like the traditional pumpkin bread that you're used to with a lot of sweetness. It has a ton of spices in it, like ginger, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves. It has orange zest, orange blossom water, which is one of my all-time favorite ingredients, tahini to add a nutty goodness to it, and a nice tahini swirl on top. This bread is delicious on its own. It can be paired with so many things. You can make it a savory, you can make it sweet. Possibilities are endless. It is just a beautiful vessel to do whatever with you want. Enough talking, let's go ahead and hop in to recipe number 1. For recipe number 1, we are going to be doing the pistachio duca multi-grain porridge. I'm using oats, rice, bulgur, and farro. All 4 so different. All 4 technically have a very different cooking time, but when you put them all together to cook over really low heat with some, I have here unsweetened pistachio milk from Taché. I've never tried this before. You can use regular milk, almond milk, coconut milk. Got a pretty color to it. Oh my gosh, it tastes so much like pistachio. When you smell it, it smells like pistachio. That's awesome. Yum. But anyways, you can use any milk of your choice. I really wanted to use pistachio milk to keep in theme with the flavors happening here today. You can use also gluten-free grains, so if you wanted to take the bulgur out and use quinoa, if you wanted to take the farro out and use buckwheat, those 2 would be the best replacements for the 2 grains here on top, which are gluten full. No! Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm also going to be adding in lime zest and lime juice because I am the queen of creating a zestful day, inspiring you guys to create a zestful day. So what is a Caroline recipe without some zest? Lime goes so well with pistachios. Lime and coriander go well together. The lime and cumin go really well together. So like I said, we have the lime zest, lime juice going in with the pistachio milk to cook low and slow the multi-grain porridge. And then once you have everything cooking and you already have the duca prepped, ready to go, comes together so easily. It's such minimal steps, such minimal ingredients. So dukkha is traditionally seeds, like coriander seeds, cumin seeds, toasted with nuts, like hazelnuts, maybe almonds. Like I said, I use today pistachios and sesame seeds. They're all toasted and then kind of ground up together to create this really fine, sprinkling spice blend. But I feel like I don't use like cumin seeds and coriander seeds a lot in my cooking right now. So I just went ahead and used the cheap method of just actual ground spiced coriander, cumin. Sesame seeds are already so small, so I feel like they didn't need to be ground. And then because I'm a texture human, like I've said a billion times, I wanted the big crunch of the pistachios. So I took the dukkha blend that I have here and used at least half, if not like 2/3, into the porridge mix. And it's gotten so thick and so creamy. This literally takes like 15 minutes, max 20 minutes over super low heat on the stove. I need to taste test it for salt and just overall flavorings. And like I said, I only said 2 cups to 2.5 cups of liquid for this blend specifically. And that's gonna create a really thick porridge mix. Oh my gosh. With the cozy warm spices, I'm already talking about it, I haven't even like plated it up yet. The lime zest brings such a refreshing taste to it and complements it so well. Because I don't have like a bunch of herbs going on here, the lime zest helps so much bring up the freshness and the zinginess and adds another depth of flavor. If you had leftover roasted squash, added roasted squash on top, you use a can of pumpkin and you don't know what to do with the leftover pumpkin puree, add it into this. It would be so delicious in here with pears. If you meal prep this, which is something so great to meal prep, and you go to heat it up, it's gonna stay pretty thick, so you wanna add that extra liquid. But I like it really thick because I love the texture. Pour on a little bit more of the pistachio milk, top with a little bit of pistachios on top. So now it is time to try this pistachio dukkha multigrain porridge. Honestly, I'm eating this cold because I took so long photographing it and filming it. I would say like room temperature, not cold, but it's incredible. It's so good. Every recipe in this video tends to be a little bit savory sweet. This can be completely savory. For some more protein, you could do a fried egg on top if you wanted to. You could crumble some feta or like any cheese would be really great on top of this. The grains are so cozy. So much texture because you have 4 different style of grains, which I love. You're getting so much fiber, so many amazing nutrients from all the multi-grains. Absolutely incredible. It's like getting a hug from all of those spices. There's so much flavor. I could eat this entire bowl, but I shouldn't. So we are gonna move on to recipe number 2. For recipe number 2, we're going to be talking about this incredible caramelized shallot pomegranate molasses fig jam and how I wanted to use it today and the countless other ways that you can use it. I feel like there's a lot of breakfast recipes and a lot of ways to eat breakfast with jam, preserves, marmalade, some kind of delicious gooey goodness. And because figs are so in season right now, I always recommend that you buy them, you try them. Late August, early September is the best time of year for figs. However, especially here in America, they are hit or miss. You can get figs that are super ripe, full of flavor, delicious, but I find so many figs that I get often are just bland and not juicy, not good. So if you have too many figs, you can make some jam out of it. With the caramelized shallots, shallots are more mellow flavor than regular onions. You could use regular onions if you wanted to. You could just make the fig jam and totally leave out the caramelized shallot addition. Onions have a little bit of sweetness to them. That's why there's a variety called sweet Vidalia onions. They do have some sugar in them, believe it or not, for being such a pungent, savory flavor. And the star of the show in all of this is the pomegranate molasses. I love pomegranate molasses. I use it all the time. It is a nice acidity, a nice fruitiness, a nice tanginess, without the acidity of vinegar. So you could use balsamic, most definitely, if you want to substitute it. The base of this wrap here today that I'm going to do is this incredible jam. The possibilities are endless. On any bread, this can be spread onto and be absolutely delicious. You could stir it into like porridge, like a savory porridge, and like all you have to do is make some milk and the grains like I showed you in the previous recipe, and just add a couple tablespoons of this, and then it adds so much flavor. And then for the wrap concept, I made my 2-ingredient flatbreads that I love so much. I showcased them in my last recipe video with stuffing them with those herbs and that cheese mixture. Like, see, it wraps really well. For some more vegetable, spicy green goodness, I've got some arugula. To top everything off, we've got some goat cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. I feel like it just pairs really well with all of this. Some thyme, some smoked salmon, because I feel like smoked salmon is very well liked as a breakfast item. It's incredible for you. Any ways to get fish in is amazing. You could use any smoked fish. The most important thing about smoked salmon is you are getting wild salmon. You need to read the ingredient list on the back, because they put dyes in salmon. And we're not here to exist for 100 years and eat dyes. Life is too short. Do not go eating dyes unless it's like some candy is worth it. I'll give you that. A lot of candy is worth eating dyes. Smoked salmon, salmon in general, you don't need to eat dyes. The salmon that's not dyed will be the most expensive one, but just tell yourself that's the standard. Like, all those cheaper ones are just not worth it, in my opinion. I could be speaking out of terms. You could completely disagree with me. At the end of the day, go to whatever smoked salmon you want. It is time to try these incredible high protein breakfast wraps with the high protein flatbread, only 2 ingredients, the caramelized shallot pomegranate molasses fig jam, smoked delicious salmon, a little bit of goat cheese, fresh thyme, olive oil, and arugula. The bursting flavor that these have. I'm shook. We need a little bit more jam. This bite doesn't have enough jam. I did overstuff them. I'm really not that good at doing wraps. I haven't done this very much. I never think to make wraps, but I hate watching people try food and never explain it. But I can't even explain to you how good this is. This alone is like worth $1 million with the caramelized shallots, the pomegranate molasses, the figs. This smoked salmon, I got it from Trader Joe's. It's absolutely delicious. It's not fishy at all. It has a little bit of a meaty texture. All those seeds from those figs add texture into this. The goat cheese, creaminess, tanginess, a tang that's so different than what you're getting from that pomegranate molasses in that jam. And then the nice, fresh, spicy arugula. You can use whatever you want wrap-wise. I don't make wraps very often, so if you have any good recommendations, please leave it in the comments of like what your favorite thing to use is for wraps. But I'm in love with these. They're so good. I need to finish this bite, and then we are gonna move on to the third and final recipe. For the third and final recipe, I have a tahini pumpkin bread, a orange blossom tahini pumpkin bread. It is not sweet by any means like a normal pumpkin bread, but it's not so savory that you can't put sweet things on top. It still has a little bit of sugar in it. It has some orange blossom water, which are very reminiscent of more dessert-esque things. It has all these spices like ginger, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, which can be pulled savory, can be pulled sweet. So it's a true tug of war. So if you eat this on its own, it's delicious, but how you want to dress it up to make it more of a meal for you, if you want to do that, you can go either way. This is made like a traditional pumpkin bread. I use olive oil instead of like a neutral oil. You could use avocado oil if you don't like the taste of olive oil, but I think olive oil goes so well with this. I use tahini in the wet ingredients as well as the normal things like eggs. And then in the dry mix, like I said, I used a variety of spices and very dense, very moist bread. I am team moist, team dense. There are so many ways to use leftover canned pumpkin. If you are gluten-free, all-purpose flour, gluten-free versions, there are so many on the market. You can Google, and I'm sure there will be articles telling you which gluten-free flour is the best alternative for regular all-purpose flour. Just can smell it, and it smells so pumpkin-y and spiced up, so it smells like fall.
As much as I love baking, it always humbles me because it's harder than I think. It is an exact science, and I can't just wing it like I do with almost all my recipes, and they end up somehow always turning out delicious. Baking is difficult, and so the first time I tried this recipe, you can see in the clips before this and after this, the bread totally sunk because my ratios of some of the ingredients were quite off. But when I describe it in the next few clips, I'm not lying, because I had all the faith and trust in myself that I would eventually, after 2 other test recipes, come out with a perfect, I mean perfect pumpkin bread. Look at this in front of you guys. It is the perfect moisture. It is cooked all the way through. It has a nice rise. It has a nice crusty exterior on the top with the tahini swirl. The flavors are perfection, and you really need to make this.
I'm so excited to taste this incredible orange blossom tahini pumpkin bread. So much true pumpkin-y flavor. All the spices give it such cozy, really good depth of flavor. And then the orange blossom adds a nice citrus tang twist to this bread. So dense, so moist. Possibilities are endless for how to enjoy this bread. But right now, I'm just enjoying it by itself because it's so good. The perfect way to end this recipe video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you got one recipe out of this or a meal idea. I cannot thank you enough for your support. It means the absolute world to me. Please leave a comment below what fall recipes you want to see from me, any specific fall ingredients, any specific dishes, anything at all. I'm here for you guys. I create these recipe videos for you guys, so I absolutely love hearing your comments, your suggestions. It makes my day to read your comments like you have no idea. It truly is the best feeling in the world to get to read my zestful little community's comments every video. And until next time, I hope you create a very zestful day. Ciao.